Hello lovelies, and welcome back to another video.
Everywhere I go, I'm plant-based, dripping.
So May 5th of this year was actually my 7-year vegan-anniversary, my vegan anniversary. And typically the biggest concerns when following a plant-based diet is vitamin D and vitamin B12. But as you guys know, I'm actually living in Tofino right now, and my regular doctor is back home in Edmonton. And because of the pandemic, I have not been able to travel back home to Edmonton. But thankfully, with companies like Let's Get Checked, you can actually do at-home blood tests. This is something that I've never done before, and I didn't even know this was something that you could do. But it's actually really convenient for me since I can't go back home to Edmonton at this time, and since I'm living in such a remote location, which is Tofino. It's actually really convenient for me that I can do these at-home tests. So today I'm going to be doing an at-home health test with Let's Get Checked, who is the sponsor of today's video. So Let's Get Checked never wants someone to put off a health test for any reason, such as feeling uncomfortable visiting a healthcare practitioner, or just not being able to see a healthcare practitioner, such as being in a situation like myself. And so for whatever reason it may be, Let's Get Checked allows you to do at-home health tests. They have a bunch of different tests to choose from on their website, such as sexual health tests, women's health tests, men's health tests, and overall wellness tests such as iron tests, celiac tests, liver, thyroid, kidney, and more. And so since my personal biggest concerns are vitamin D and B12, that is what I'm going to be testing for today. I think the last time I checked for my vitamin D and B12 was actually like several years ago, so I think it's really important whether you're vegan or not to get regular tests to make sure that you're not low on anything, so that you can address them. So thankfully Let's Get Checked actually has the perfect test for me. It's called the Essential Vitamins Test. So it's going to test for folate, B12, and vitamin D. So I'm going to show you how I do the test, and then I'm going to share my results with you guys. So let's go take the test. So first I think I'll show you what is in the box. So the first thing we have is the shipping package with the prepaid shipping label already attached. Then we have the instructions. It's super important to go through the instructions before you start the test. Then we have the personal ID card, which is important to keep. Then we have the very small tube where we're going to collect your sample. And then we have the biohazard bag where we're going to put the sample in afterwards. We also have 4 lancets that we're going to use to help take our sample. We have alcohol-free cleansing wipes. We have alcohol swabs. And looks like we also have a band-aid here. Okay, so I'm going to read my instructions. So the first step is to activate your test, which I already did. You just simply activate your test online, and they give you very detailed instructions on how to do this. So step 2 is to wash your hands. So wash your hands in warm, soapy water. So you want to make sure that your hands are thoroughly dry, and I'm going to make sure that my hands are nice and warm because apparently it's easier to take your sample if your hands are warm. So apparently it's easiest to use your 3rd or 4th finger. So we just have to remove the top of the lancet here. I'm just going to take the alcohol wipe, and apparently since I'm right-handed, I'm going to use my left hand to collect my sample. So now I'm just going to wait for the alcohol to dry. I'm going to open the test tube to prepare it. Alright you guys, so I've now taken my sample, and you'll see on the instructions that it tells you to mix the tube by sort of flicking it and then inverting it 10 times. And mine doesn't look like it's mixed, but I actually looked this up and apparently it's okay if it doesn't look like it's mixed. It actually is mixed, so we don't have to worry about that. So I just put it in the bag, and then we remove this yellow sticker, and then I'm just going to seal the bag shut. And then I'm going to put it back in the Let's Get Checked box. And now I'm just going to fill out the top label here. And now we just close up the box and put it in the bag that they provided us with. Now our package is all ready to go. And since we live in such a remote location, I actually have a UPS person coming here to pick it up. So normally you just drop your package off at your local UPS drop-off location. But if you're like me and you live in a remote location, you can actually schedule a UPS driver to come pick it up from your house directly. So that's what I did. I just went to the UPS website and they have a page where you can arrange for a UPS driver to come pick up your sample. So it's important to send your test back immediately after you take your sample. And the shipping label is already prepaid for, so you don't have to pay for it. Okay, so to be honest, I was super freaked out to do an at-home blood test. I am normally really queasy around blood, and I really felt that way at first, but I was actually surprised just how quickly I got used to it. I found it super important to read all of the instructions beforehand so that I knew what I was doing and I knew what to expect. And I actually found that it was a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be. And this is because Let's Get Checked really lays out very detailed instructions for you and gives you an informational video, and they make the whole process just very straightforward and simple. I found for me personally, my middle finger worked the best, and I found it best to keep my arm down in between putting the droplets in the tube. Another thing that I found was important was to do the prick on the side of my finger so that I could do the other side of my finger later. And just so you know, sending the sample back is completely free. They provide you with a prepaid shipping label. So once your results are ready, you should get an email from a nurse letting you know that you can check your results. You can either check it on your desktop or you can download the Let's Get Checked app, which is what I did. I'm just opening the app now, and I'm just gonna log in, and this is what it looks like. So I'm just gonna go to the results tab at the bottom, and so these are my results here. So if you go to vitamin D, it shows you what the normal range looks like. So my vitamin D levels are at 135 nanomoles per liter, and it says that the normal range is between 50 to 200 nanomoles per liter. So my vitamin D test results are normal, and then I'll go to folate here. So my folate levels are 20.01 micrograms per liter, which is in the normal range as well. Then with my B12, you'll see that it has a yellow color. It says some issues. And that's because the result was actually hemolyzed. So this is something that can happen with blood tests. Your results can be hemolyzed. And with the email that the nurse sent me, she said, "Unfortunately, on this occasion, we have been unable to obtain a test result. This is because the sample was hemolyzed. Unfortunately, this can happen with blood tests, particularly if it took some time to collect the sample. We would like to arrange a free retest for you. Please reply to this email confirming that you are happy to have a retest sent to the address on your account." So in my case, it took a bit longer to take my sample. This is because I was actually originally planning on using my middle finger, but instead I used this finger, and for whatever reason there was like very little blood flow that was happening with this finger. So it took me a lot longer to take my sample, but then at the end, of course, I tried my middle finger and it filled up super fast, so I should have just used my middle finger from the beginning. So I'm actually going to be doing a retest for my vitamin B12, and then once I get that result, I will share that with you guys as well. But I personally find everything about Let's Get Checked super easy to use, and I just love how much communication there is and how they really lay everything out for you very straightforward. So anyways, those are my folate and vitamin D levels, and once I get my B12 results, I'll be sharing those with you guys as well. And I actually decided to order 2 more tests. I ordered the kidney test and the thyroid test. This is because I have a family history of kidney issues, and I ordered the thyroid test because last year I found out I was low on iodine, so I want to make sure that all of my thyroid hormones are normal. So as soon as I get my results, I'll be sharing those with you guys as well. So I hope you guys found today's video interesting, and I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Don't forget to be kind to yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
I never lost sight, and that's the main difference. Now the stock going up, campaign hitting up. Everywhere I go, I'm plant-based dripping.